Hello and welcome back to our A-League Fantasy series. This is our Game Week 3 video. One of these days football, and we'll get into the video, but just so you know, this isn't recorded before the game week started. Melbourne City played Sydney last night, and it's currently half-time between Wellington and Brisbane, and with Wellington winning 2-1. Now, after the first game week, I was 10th. If you saw the video last week, you know we probably didn't do as well as we did the first game week, being 10th out of nearly 7,000 players now, but still pretty highly ranked, but a lot to work on, and I think it's probably time to use those subs to get some players in who will probably rise in value rather than decrease in value. Speaking of which, we did make 3 changes. We activated the boost transfer to make 3 total changes. Davila's gone, Joe Lolly's gone, and Jack Hingett's gone. Hingett's gone because he's injured. I do actually think Brisbane are good, even though they're losing right now. I think Brisbane are good, probably better if Jack Hingett was there. One of the reasons I have dropped him. But obviously injured players are no use to us in A-League Fantasy. Joe Lolly. Joe Lolly is a great player. He even played really well last night when Sydney lost 2-0. He had a lot of shots. He was very creative. I still think he's a really class player. I even think he's still a good fantasy A-League asset. I just don't think that Sydney are the team right now, and a lot of their players are very expensive and not worth what you've got to pay to get them. So maybe in a few weeks, Joe Lolly, Robert Mack are players that we're looking at again if Sydney can swing things around, but as things go, they haven't scored a goal. Does Joe Lolly look like the outlet that's either going to create or score that goal? For sure, but they still haven't scored a goal. So for nearly 500,000, I just don't think he's worth it, and I think he'll go down in value, and one of the reasons I've got rid of him. Davila hasn't played yet, but I think Jed Drew might be the player to go for from MacArthur after the first 2 games that I've seen. So I just thought Davila maybe wasn't the player that I signed up for. Obviously coming off the bench last week hurt him. But the real reason that Davila's gone is because Jay O'Shea is the player I wanted. Joe Lolly basically downgraded into Jay O'Shea because I think Jay O'Shea is class. I think Brisbane are really good, even though they're currently losing. Brisbane I still think are really good, and I think Jay O'Shea is just going to average a high number of points because he gets the ball a lot. He does a lot with the ball. He's a really good player to own in this game. And the other reason I got him is because I didn't have a consistent captain option. I was kind of worried about how Arslan and McLaren and stuff are all going to work out. I wanted a bit more of a consistent captain, I think a consistent captain, and hence why Jay has been brought in. Torres here has been brought in I just think he's been the Mariners' best player so far, and he's under 200. He's under 200k. He's 170 odd k, and almost every game he's been the most dangerous player for the Mariners. Even that 3-0 first game week against Adelaide, he was really dangerous with those dribbling. He cut Ryan Kiddo up a few times, and I think the Mariners will play well against Perth this week. He's under $200,000, and I think he's just an undervalued asset that is going to rise in price. And obviously next game week our price rises and falls come into play, and I think it is a good time to pick him up. He also obviously enables me to move Davila into Jay O'Shea. The other player I was looking at in that position was Nikola Milosnic. So potentially that could have been a better buy, and I have the money to make that move, but I just think Torres might edge him out. I'm not sure though. Saying that, he'll probably score this game week. Oh well. And then we've decided we needed to get rid of Hingett, and we've brought in what's this bloke's name again? Oh, I bloody forgot. Oh yeah, Tate Russell. Tate Russell. As you can see, this is our live game week scores. Tate Russell's come in because I think Western Sydney are playing really well, and I think I really needed another defender that I was keen to play this week because I thought that Western Sydney would play against Newcastle well. Even though it's in Newcastle, I think they'll win. I think they'll keep a clean sheet. And so he was, for me, the easiest defender to pick. He's also cheap. He's also scored highly. His price is going to rise. Jack Hingett is going to drop. For me, it was worth the boost transfer. Anyway, this is our team for the second game week. I was umming and ahhing between O'Shea, Arslan and McLaren as to who to captain. Wouldn't have mattered if I picked one of the City blokes, as it turns out. All three City players got 12 points, which is great. Cracker start to the week. Just need to see some Brisbane returns now, and hopefully O'Shea getting above that 12 marker would make me pretty happy. But yeah, this is the team I'm going to go with for this week. Not super time rich. That's why I did want to bring in Tate Russell, because I didn't want to start Ewell this game. I think he's probably going to cap out at about 6 points per week, which is great for a bottom value midfielder. And we'll see how he evolves throughout the season. But I think Tate is going to probably average a bit higher, and the game seems to agree with me as well. So anyway, that's our Game Week 3 squad. Oh, what I didn't go over is we do have 70,000 in the budget. So next week I can probably make a bigger move if I can see something that I like, which I think is good. And obviously we didn't score too well last week, dropping to 254th instead of 10th. So quite a big drop, but hopefully we can work on that. Anyway, this is my quick Game Week squad. I'll upload this now. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the A-League and talk to you next week. Bye.